We on?
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom, y'all. Peace be upon Israel. Peace be upon, everybody tuning in. Happy Sabbath day to, the 12 tribes scattered abroad, to the mighty men out there that's doing the works, that's laboring on this day, waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Strong shalom to y'all. To, the women out there holding down the households, raising up the children in the way that they ought to go. To the mighty little soldiers and little princesses in this truth, rehearsing the righteous acts. Shalom to y'all, man. So today's lesson is it's gonna be on GOG and Magog. So we're gonna be going into World War III, basically. So we see the times that we live in, and we see everything that's coming to pass, and we want to stay right within, right current. We want to stay current. So without further ado, we're gonna get into some of these precepts and get into some articles, get into some history, some breakdowns. GOG and Magog is a little, it's a lot of meat on that. But nonetheless, we'll try to get through the whole chapter at least. We probably won't be able to get through to chapter 39, but it's, we're gonna break things down through the Spirit Most High willing. So let's get, what I want, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and let's get verse 1 through 8.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
So we see right here, to everything there's a season, man. It's a time to be born, it's a time to die, a time to plant, time to pluck up. We seeing everything has a balance, right? Keep going.
Verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. I think I skipped verse 3. I'm sorry. Verse 3. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing.
So we see, the multitudes of things in which the Most High says is seasonal. Even when you're going out there teaching on the highways and byways, it's a time to build up. So sometimes it's a time to tear down as well. You got to tear our people down, tear all of the false doctrines out there down, and you got to build them back up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to cut people, but after cutting them, you got to heal them. You got to, heal that wound that you placed upon them. Keep going.
Verse 6. A time to get and a time to loose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
So we see right there, it's a time of war. And we living in the time when Yahweh Shai said what? There shall be wars and rumors of wars. We seeing it escalate more and more, throughout the news, whatever you watch to stay current and on top of everything, we see everything escalate. And with the likes of who? Of course, America is in it, right? With the likes of Russia and Ukraine, you got Taiwan, you got China, you got North Korea sitting there patiently waiting. You got Iran. All of these countries and nations are preparing for war right now. But what is the average American doing? The All-Star weekend, man. Dunk contest, a three-point contest, All-Star game tomorrow. Will LeBron tie Kobe Bryant and All-Star MVPs? You know what I'm saying? That's what the people focus on. What they had last week's Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's mind ain't right now. Everybody focused on the wrong things. But the Most High said what? He said, the righteous is going to be focused on the prophecies that's coming to pass, man. That's Sirach 39. Right, that was it on that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to what's that? 2 Timothy chapter 4, and let's get verse 5. So yeah, man, we got to make sure that our mind is in the right place right now. It's a lot of distractions. IQ was going into it earlier about all of the distractions that can keep people, off the course. But we got to make sure that we focus in on this narrow path. You're gonna have things to distract you on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, like Ezra talked about. You got a water on one side, a fire on the other, man. And that's dealing with all of the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. But we got to stay straight and narrow, focused on the kingdom, man. Making sure like Acts 14 and 22 through much tribulation we're gonna enter into the kingdom. So that's where our mind has to be, right? Let's get that.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry.
Read it again.
But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, and make full proof of thy ministry.
Right. So he said to watch in all things. Right? So we got to remain watchful in these times. The Most High called us to be watchmen for our people. Like Leviticus 19:17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, thou shalt not suffer sin upon him. You know what I'm saying? So we always make sure that we watchful for our people. If they going off in this, that's why our brothers and sisters always looking out for, oh, brother, that got pork in it. You shouldn't eat that. You know what I'm saying? We can't be ashamed when it's concerning our soul. We got to speak up, when it comes to the laws of the Most High God. And when it comes to the danger, the incoming danger that we see that's about to come upon this earth. You know what I'm saying? So read that one more time, actually.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, and make full proof of thy ministry.
Right, you want to make full proof of your ministry, of your servants unto the Most High and His Son. You got to make full proof. Whatever your position is, you want to utilize your gift and your talent to the best of your ability, so that you can't say you didn't slack in no area, because you're going to have to give account for it. You're going to have to give account for it. So you want to make full proof, man. Making sure you're exhausting all of the areas in which you can help the nation. Not just yourself, but all of Israel. So let's go to, let's get 1 Peter chapter 4, and let's get verse 7. So we're just getting the precepts for right now on just being watchful. You know what I'm saying? Making sure we're watching and keep it. It is hard to keep up with everything, man. This everything's coming at you on a day-to-day basis, man. Even if it don't go, viral or whatever, But our people, we just not focused on the right things, man. Our people, they're completely gone, man. But let's get that right quick.
Book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand.
Right, you said what?
But the end of all things is at hand.
Right, the end of all things is at hand. The way this society runs, everything we see, we just seeing what happened to the damn cop that killed Dante Wright. You know what I'm saying? All of these things is about to come to an end. All his wicked rulership and his laws that he passes, and they may as well gave a not guilty verdict. 2 years, she gonna be out in probably less than a year. Be right back on the force. I didn't even hear much of an uproar about it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
they do a little riding over there, a little uproar.
Okay.
About 100 people.
Yeah. Okay. See that? Not a major uproar, man. Because everybody's mind is just turn up, drugs, sex. You know what I'm saying? It's all things that are carnal, man. But he said that the end of all things is at hand, man. And the carnal eye ain't gonna see that, but the spiritual eye can. But it is some carnal people out there that have spiritual eyes, but they haven't subjected their bodies into the laws of the Most High just yet. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to turn their hearts back into the Father. So let's go.
But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
He said what?
Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
So look, you got to be sober-minded. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you're not going off to the spirit. And you got to be what? Watchful. Watch unto prayer. Meaning, as you see these things come to pass, you should be increasing in prayer. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be slacking. There should be no reason why you praying once a day, why you might pray before you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You should be praying all of the time, man. We know all of the precepts. We went through it before about, David said he prayed 7 times a day. Do he praise the Most High? Daniel, morning, noon, night, 3 times a day. We got to be given, because look, these are the times that you got to be praying for faith and mercy right now. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to be worthy to escape everything that's coming upon this earth. You don't want to be on the other side of the Most High, opposite of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That was it on that. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 2, and let's get verse 13 right quick. 2nd Ezra 2 and 13. Let's see right quick.
Got you. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, and verse 13. Go, and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you.
So Salakia, actually start at verse 10. So this 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 10.
Got you. Verse 10. Thus saith the Lord unto Esdras, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel.
Right, so the Most High told Esdras to tell his people that he's preparing the kingdom for Israel. He's preparing the kingdom for Israel. Salakia, y'all. Salakia, bear with us. Bear with us. Salakia, read that one more time from the top, verse 10.
Verse 10. Thus saith the Lord unto Esdras, tell my people that I will give them the kingdom of Jerusalem, which I would have given unto Israel.
Right, so the Most High is letting it be known, plain upon tables, he's going to give the kingdom to the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles which I have prepared for them. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of a sweet savor. They shall neither labor nor be weary.
Go ahead.
Go, and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you.
Right, this is another thing we got to be praying for. Praying for a few days, man. That this tribulation that we got to go through, this hell, this torment that we about to feel and experience in Jacob's trouble is going to be short. Not everybody's going to feel the effects of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we know the precepts, the Most High said, my servants shall eat. We're not going to, see of any famine. We're going to laugh in famine. You know what I'm saying? We're going to laugh at death. We're going to laugh at everything transpiring in the world. But go ahead.
Go, and you shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
He said what?
The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
Watch. Man. He didn't say watch the game. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say watch your favorite TV show. He said watch. And what he meant by the watch, he meant the prophecies. Man. Everything coming to pass. That's what he's talking about. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3 and let's get verse 3. Because, hey, we get a little idle time. Hey, look, it's natural for us to do what you want to do. Look, I want to play the damn game all day. I ain't played it in like a month. I don't even know the last time I played the game. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I would like to do. So, but we got to be watchful unto the prophecies, man. Watchful unto all things concerning the Most High. You know what I'm saying? The Most High didn't say nothing about, you get you a little bit of idle time and you can have fun. It's not a bad thing for you to, do things that you want to do or anything, but he didn't command us to do that. He didn't say take a break here. You can go on vacation. You don't have to study for 2 weeks. He didn't say nothing like that. He said watch. You know what I'm saying? He said keep my commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Book of Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee.
Right, he said, you better keep watch, man. He said, I'm sorry, read that again. I want to get exactly what he said.
Verse 3. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent.
Because a lot of us heard these prophecies. We've been hearing for a long time, America's going to get destroyed. We're going to get delivered up out of here. My grandma been saying that for a long time. We've been hearing that. Right, but go ahead.
If therefore thou shalt not watch.
He said if you don't watch during this time, what?
I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee.
Look, he going to come upon you unannounced, man. He not coming at you knocking on the door and just let you know about just you. He's coming back on this date and this time, man. He going to come back when you least expect it. So, what persons ought we to be, during this time, before he makes his return? We should make sure that our garments in the spiritual sense is clean, without spot, without blemish. That, we ain't got no marks, no stains upon us, and no stains of doctrine, of fornication, spiritual or literal. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we fully right so that, we can be protected in these last days and the Most High be our refuge. That was it on that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38, man. I know brothers was, sending each other texts about, Russia and everything that was transpiring. They was expecting something to happen within 48 hours. You had other writings about it, articles, as far as what was going to happen within the next 30 days. But we know war is imminent. We know it's going to take place. We see it, transpiring. So, I felt like it was important to go into the prophecies to understand where Russia is in the Bible. How do you find Russia? How do you find Ukraine, China, all of these other nations, right? But the specific country that we're focusing on is Russia for right now. We'll deal with some history on some other nations, but for right now, we're just going to go into Russia. So we're going to get Ezekiel chapter 38, and we're going to start at verse 1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech, and Tubal, the prophecy against him.
All right, so right there, it says, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog. So, going into God, God is dealing with the leader of this nation, right? And Magog is the land. Now, if you we're gonna try to pull some maps, and we're gonna do it the ghetto way, because I started my computer thing late, so I couldn't really bring it today. They give you 24 hours.
If it's just an image, they might be able to pull it up. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I wanted the maps, if you can. If not, I got some screenshots. Okay.
You just won't be able to see what he's pulling up.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's all right. But of the ancient land of Gog and Magog, you'll see where it's located at in today's time, but you're gonna find out that is Russia. Where Russia is located at, that was the land of Gog and Magog. You know what I'm saying? So if you can pull it up, I'm gonna check actually. So if I can see it on YouTube right now, I'll pull it up. So just at least I can see it. So bear with us. You said you found it or not?
There's a few different ones.
Two different ones? Okay. Let me try to get this to work. Salakia, bear with us, y'all. I'll get it to work then. So read that one more time, verse 2.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him.
Right, so the Most High is telling Ezekiel to prophesy against Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. He said prophesy against him. So now, when you see these terms like Gog, Magog, Meshech, Tubal, those are all names of the Japhites, right? Those are names of the Japhites. We know of Noah. We know Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? This is where a lot of our people get confused on who is Esau and who is Japheth, right? A lot of people will look at, just simply looking at, well, it says, Japheth is going to destroy such and such. But we're going to break it down through the spirit. We're going to go into the history, little light history on Japheth. So let's get Genesis chapter 10 right quick. So just so we can see how these names, these terms that we're seeing right now, Magog, Gog, Tubal, Meshech, are, were actually sons of Japheth, right? So we're going to get the understanding on how Esau got the land. You showing the image now?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Where you going? Okay. Cool.
So you gotta work. I put on the TV.
All right, cool. That'll work then. So yeah, let's get that right quick. Genesis chapter 10, and let's get verse 1.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10, and verse 1. Now these are the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus.
You go.
And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and right.
He said what?
Ashkenaz.
Right. So now we hear this term in today's time, Ashkenazi Jew, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where a lot of our people get it confused, that the so-called white man is actually the Japhites according to the Bible. This is where they'll start teaching that. You know what I'm saying? But biblically, there's no such thing as an Ashkenazi Jew. You don't hear none of the Israelites saying, I'm Ashkenazi Jew. You know what I'm saying? So how did they get this? How did this term come about? You know what I'm saying? How did, if they're calling themselves Ashkenazi, then they got to be Japhite, right? No, that's not so. Right? Finish the names for Japhet, his sons, before all the way to Cush.
And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Rippah, and Tagramah. And the sons of Javin, El Isha, and Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, in their nation. And the sons of Ham.
That's all I wanted. So we see right there, these are the sons of Japhet, right? So now let's get Deuteronomy chapter 2, and let's get, I think I want verse 20. This is what I want. I'm ready for this. Let's see. Oh yeah, start at verse 1 on this one. Deuteronomy 2 and 1.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 1. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spake unto me. And we compassed Mount Seir many days. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, Ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command thou the people, saying, Ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, not so much as set foot breadth, because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession. Ye shall buy meat.
Salakia, that's it on that. So he said he's given Mount Seir to Esau for a possession. That's the land that Esau, that the Most High gave Esau to have, right? So, but drop down to verse. Let's drop down to verse. Drop down to verse 10, actually. Salakia, not 10. Verse 9 and 10. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a lot here. Drop down to verse. Yeah, let's start at 10 through 12, actually. 10 through 12.
Verse 10. The Emmons dwelt therein in times past, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims, which also were accounted giants as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Emmons.
Right, so it's just talking about how nations conquer other nations and they take the lands. Sometimes when you take the land, you assume the identity of these nations, right? So Moab, before he had his land of Ur, how do you pronounce it? That belonged to the Emmons, right? So, but go read verse 12.
Verse 12. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them, and dwelt in their stead, as Israel did unto the land of possession which the Lord gave unto them.
Right. So you had the Horims that was living in Mount Seir before Esau took over. You see what I'm saying? So now they are the children of Seir. You see, it's the same thing with the land of Japhet. You know, the Japhites eventually migrated out of that land, and Esau took over. He took over the land of Japhet, and he assumed the identity of these places. You know what I'm saying? So now, when you look at archaeology and dealing with Japhet, we see our the Japhites being a dark-skinned people. We see the kinky hair on them, and if I could, I mean, my service is kind of bad in here right now, so I had some images, but let me see right quick. Or maybe you can pull it up, huh? Actually, pull up Etruscans archaeology. We'll get Etruscans. We'll get Minoans, Black Minoans. If you type in Black Minoans right quick, and let's see that. Or yeah, we can look at the land first too if you have that already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, check out a couple of them. Because when you look geographically in the ancient maps, Ham was south of the land of Japheth, and east of that was the land of Shem. And they kind of intermingle. Some of the like we know Israel is North Africa. Some say otherwise, but nonetheless, we see it's right dead in the center. But right now, we can see some images. You got the what's that one? You got Black Minoans. Let's get that. Here's the one I said earlier. Which one now? Let's keep going. Yeah, get that one with the twist. That's one of them right there. You know what I'm saying? This is what the Japhites looked like, right? And these are your real Greeks right here, right? It says a Greek man, 200 BC. You see what I'm saying? So, but there's some more I wanted to get. Let's see if I can find the one that I wanted to really show. And on some of these, they knocked off the noses as well. And that goes to show you why Esau would do such a thing, right? Because he wants to suppress information in history. He doesn't want people to know, who is who. Let's keep going. I'll go back up. Let me see real quick. Where's the other one?
Coin?
The coin is cool. There's another one too. So the Japhites are really your Samoans and Pacific Islanders. That's who they closely resemble. That's who they are. They were the original Greeks. They are the descendants of Japheth. So but there are some other images. If we could type in Etruscans. Let's get the word Etruscans. I know that was a little hard. Yeah. Huh?
Etruscans?
Yeah, Etruscans. Yeah. That was. Are you on YouTube right now, or is that a?
No.
Okay, yeah. There we go, right there. You gotta probably type in like Etruscan archaeology. You gotta be kind of clear with the words. Yeah, real precise with them, because Esau be playing around. See now they see it's totally different. I forgot what I typed in earlier, but let's see. Let's see. You see, you gotta keep going. Go down a little bit. Let me see. No, I don't even see the one I was looking up just earlier. That's crazy. See now. But nonetheless, if you look at the history of the Minoans, the Etruscans, the Mycenaeans, you're going to see that they were a dark-skinned people. So colonization has always happened throughout history. And it's no different when Esau got into that land. Now, some say, it was around, we know Alexander the Great came into power around 333 BC. 333 BC. So it was, some say 800 BC that they conquered that land from the Minoans, Etruscans, from the Japhites. That's their biblical nationality. So, and again, if you look up Minoans, Esau has information out there that will say that the Minoans were the Samoans today, or Pacific Islanders today. There's information out there regarding that. Did I say I was gonna have
You're gonna try to pull up the maps.
the maps? Yeah, okay. Did you have the maps ready? Yeah, I want to get the maps right quick too. And could they see me right now? Are you not sure?
No.
Okay.
One I was able to get.
Okay, that's a good one though. But we see right there, these are all of the names of Japheth, Belarus, yeah, they got some of that's today's name.
Ukraine, Poland.
Right. That's all where Esau dwells within Russia. You know what I'm saying? That's all their lands. And even then, if it's not Russia, a lot of that, those lands are the ancient USSR, the Soviet Union lands. Like the brother mentioned, Ukraine, all of them places today, Netherlands, Germany, Moldova, they got all that, what's that, Kazakhstan, but we see right there, this is where Japheth dwelt at. And this was his land. But eventually Esau took over and, they assumed those identities. We see Esau over here in America. He assumes some identities of Native Americans. He'll call himself Native American. He calls himself an Australian. He calls himself after the lands of which another people resided in first. So, but that was a good map right there. I like that one. So, and if I can, it basically kind of went like, well, could you show, it had Russia on there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we see that was a good one. So we see that Russia is right where Gog and Magog was. And if I could, I'm gonna just show this one real fast if they can see it. It might be a little dark. So we see right here, Japhet above Ham. We see Shem east of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it looked in ancient times, man. You know, so we let's go to y'all have something else?
No, I'm saying he might be able to pull that one up.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot how what I typed in. You gotta type, like you said, you gotta be precise, man. But let's go back to Ezekiel, 38, and start at 2 one more time. Also, man, huh? Yeah, I think that's close. Yeah, that's something like that. It's basically the same. Yeah. So yeah, we see right there how the ancient map looked, and how Noah's sons expanded their empires, you know, and their nations. We see Ham was pretty big. Shem, all the people of Shem. We had Elam, of course. They're Shemites. You have, you know, Ishmael on that side. You know, Japheth was pretty large. You know, and we see the people that are in control today. One other thing I did want to look up, see, was Meshach. Just a word, right quick. I think, yeah. Type in on Google or whatever, Meshach, the ancient name of Moscow. You're gonna find out that was an ancient name for Moscow today. I think the capital of Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So but that was an ancient name, Meshach. So but that was the city name of one of the city names of Japhet. You know. So what did I take earlier? Oh, you might could just get yeah, right there, the Wikipedia. I think they got it right there.
You want just this part, or you want me to open it up to the tab?
Well, no, the one down there to the left where it say Meshach, Wikipedia.
Right.
Yeah, I think that one. That's like, it's basically the same, isn't it? It even mentions it, yeah. Does it say Moscow? There was one that says Moscow or Mashkev.
Yeah.
It says or Moskva. Yeah, it says it right there. Okay. But this ain't the exact one I had earlier. But we'll see, like they call, you know, Moscow was Meshach or what's it say? Moskva? Yeah, right there. So that lets you know that was Japheth's land. And they're already identifying where Russia is today as the land of Gog and Magog. You know, but the Most High is using those terms to call Russia Gog and Magog because that's where they reside, right? And they're farthest north of all of the countries. You know what I'm saying? By and large. So, but now let's go back to Ezekiel 38. Let's get verse 2.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal.
Right. So the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal right now would be Vladimir Putin. And we know, you know, he's much different than the leader of America. Much different. You know what I'm saying? You see the vast difference in both of them, the stern look that, you know, Vladimir Putin has as opposed to y'all President Joe Biden. You know, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he's the chief prince for Gog right now. So let's keep going.
Verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all the army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Right. So the first thing I want to deal with is that first line right there on verse 4. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth. So that's an expression of how the Most High is going to control Russia and force them into war. Because at one point in time, and probably still to this day, Russia had the biggest military. When you look at the USSR in the early 1900s, in the first war, and all of those countries that are surrounding Russia today, that used to be Russia. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when you get into America trying to give Ukraine missile defense systems and giving them all this weaponry, Ukraine used to be a part of Russia's land. So yeah, they're gonna feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying, about somebody coming in their backyard. You know what I'm saying? IQ expounded on it on one of his recent "Don't Shoot the Messengers." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they're gonna be upset. That's like your neighbor coming in, Alada, and saying like, "Look, this is I'm gonna take some of your backyard now." You know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel like you gonna have to move out the way, knock this fence down. This little portion is gonna be mine. You're gonna feel some type of way about that, right? You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't Russia be upset about America, invading their property and their land, man? You know what I'm saying? So anybody would be upset, man. So God, I want to hone in on this. Remember there? Oh yeah, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Right. So let's get Proverbs 21 and verse 1, because the Most High is in control. He's going if he want, he could force anybody into war. It's gonna pop off when the Most High says it's gonna pop off. You know what I'm saying? They might not want to go to war, but look, the Most High said, "I'm gonna put hooks into your jaw." I'm taking you where I want to take you. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got a hook in the jaw of a fish. The fish can't do his own thing no more. You know what I'm saying? So Russia, Gog, the new Gog and Magog, the current Gog and Magog, you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do. The Most High is gonna put it in your spirit and your heart to fulfill His will. Let's get Proverbs 21 and 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will.
So the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So you see who's ruling right now, what kingdom is in power? It's because of the Most High. Man gonna boast and think he did this on his own, but that is really the Most High that put them in that position of power. You see what I'm saying? So the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. We know what the Most High did to Pharaoh when he hardened his heart. So the Most High is in control of all of these world powers and leaders right now. Right? So let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 38, and let's read verse 4 again.
Gotcha. The book of Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Right, let's get Sirach 10 and 8 right quick. So it's using ancient terms for warfare, and really it's going into the modern swords, your modern armory, you know what I'm saying, things like that, but, so they got what? They got spacecrafts, you know what I'm saying, military tanks, they got all type of, helicopters, Humvees, all types of things that they have, missile defense systems, hypersonic missiles. Those are your modern day swords, your machine guns. They got so much stuff, today that's beyond our, our own thoughts. We don't even really know what they got, but let's get this one right quick. Sirach 10 and 8 real fast.
Book of Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right. So this is the reason why the Most High takes kingdoms out of power. You know what I'm saying? Because of unrighteous dealings. Go ahead, read that one more time.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right. So the Most High will transition another kingdom into power because of how these kingdoms rule. You had the Most High put leaders to death because they didn't give him praise. Forget what Edomite that was that the Most High did that to. But he didn't honor or praise the Most High. The Most High smote. So let's go back to Ezekiel 38 now. Yeah, you can get verse 5. I did want to pull another thing up right quick though, but get verse 5.
Book of Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shields and helmets. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah and the north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee.
Right. So right here it's naming a lot of these countries that have alliances with Russia. Persians of ancient times would be your modern day Iranians. That's the Persians, right? And they have ties with Russia. You got Russia, China, they linked up together, but it also said what? Ethiopia and Libya. All these nations are going to conspire together against America, against Babylon the Great, right? And I actually want to bring this up real fast. Let me see if this is the exact one. I want it. Let's see real fast. Come through. Check this phone real fast. Let's see. Somebody's nuclear arsenal. Dang. No, it didn't come through. Didn't come through. All right, read that one more time, man. Verse 5 and 6.
Verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, and the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee.
I also wanted to bring out the north quarter. Sometimes you're gonna see Russia being referred to as the land of the north, and now you also see America being referred to as the land of the north, and then you'll also see Persia, the Medes, being referred to as the land of the north. It's just about context when you read the scriptures. You gotta read it from its proper context. You'll get the understanding of who the Most High is referring to, right? So keep going on that. Or you finished it up? The north quarters with all his bands?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep going on that. Let me see. Yeah, get that right there, verse 7.
Verse 7. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Right. Let's get Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3. Let's get a classic right quick. Because the Most High is using all of these people so he can fulfill his will, man. And we're going to have a mighty deliverance out of America, man, out of Babylon the Great. We're getting ready to see that, So, everybody excited through the Spirit to see these things come to pass, man. And these nations are going to witness it. They're going to be a witness unto what the Most High is going to do for us. Right, so let's get that in Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3.
Verse 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
So it didn't say that the Most High was a man of hugs and kisses and flowers and Valentine's Day cards. Most High is not about that, man. The Most High is war. He's about war. And we see that throughout history, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, y'all gonna scoff at me, man, but I finally watched 300, man.
Oh, man. Okay.
Look, I wasn't into that type of stuff, man, because I felt like it was Esau's history, so I just didn't watch, especially growing up. I just wasn't interested. It was just, all white people. I was just like, look, I don't want to watch it. But I finished it last night. I finished it last night. I had watched it over the course of some days, man. So, but nonetheless, you see how, those dudes was going to war back then. That's all designed by the Most High. And that's some cutthroat stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got on, metal helmets and all that so you can protect yourselves. Your arms is kind of exposed. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the shield. But that's real guerrilla warfare, man. Ambushes. You know what I'm saying? Plotting on your enemy, man. A lot of people, they couldn't do that today, man. You know what I mean? And then especially these damn American soldiers, man. That's why they had to create weaponry that would keep them at a distance. They can go with their enemies on a distance. Because, going head up with them, hey, look, I'll put my money on Russia. If they was to fight like that, the Russian Edomites is different. You know what I'm saying? Than these Caucasian American Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see the Caucasian American, they like to flip the hair back, the hair behind the head, going surfing. You got on the cargo shorts, with the American flag blue T-shirt on. And you just with the sandals on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got something? Go ahead.
Just real quick, about a couple of years ago, they had a problem recruiting because most of the men that was actually signing up, they were overweight. They couldn't get in weight. And not only was overweight, but they were soft. They couldn't even get through basic training.
Damn.
they had to lower the rates of basic training just to get these newer generation into the army. This is America.
Right. See that? Hey, man, that lets you know everything that you need to know about their military.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even then, I'm sure some of these nations, they have females in their military, right? Is China, they have that.
Israel.
Russia does? Okay. Yeah, look, they tougher than a lot of them. And they still dealing with that, that cold weather. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So they showed that in movies like Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal Rising. What they was doing when it was a famine. And they was eating people. It was nothing, man. But they are a different breed. Not that these Edomites won't do that over here either, but they just, compared to the Russians, they can't mess with them, man. But where we at again? We was in
Exodus 15.
Okay,
we just did We went back to Ezekiel 38 and 7.
Okay, Ezekiel 38 and 7. Yeah, let's go ahead and get man. Let me see right quick. 1 second. Yeah, read verse 7 one more time.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Come on, hold that. Let's get Isaiah 54 and 16. Get that right quick.
Wow.
16. Whatever.
All right. Book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument of his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
So the Most High is using all of these scientists to create weapons, just for their armies and militaries. This is how the Most High wants things to end. A Big Bang. You want to talk about the Big Bang Theory? This is gonna be it right here. This is gonna be a Big Bang, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High uses the science. That's what the scientists are for. And that's where they get the minerals from out of Africa to create the weaponry that they have. That's why you have the Chinese and white people over there all rummaging through Africa, stealing their resources. So the Most High is about war, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50 now. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 50, and let's get verses 1 through 9. Jeremiah 51 through 9. Yeah, when you ready. Yeah.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 1. The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
Right, so the Most High deals in dual prophecy. Yeah, the Most High did destroy ancient Babylon at the hands of the Medes and the Persians. You know what I'm saying? But this is also going into modern day Babylon. We're going to see that, though. And then, keep going on that.
For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
Right, because ancient Babylon would be modern day Iraq, right? And above them was actually where the Persians resided. And if we could get, I don't know if you can, ancient map of the Medo-Persian Empire. Find the one that has Persia. It was pretty large. It was right above ancient Babylon. That's who the Most High sent against that Babylon, right? So, but now, the Bible also speaks of a daughter of Babylon, right? Hold that. Let's get Psalms 137. Who would be ruling in this daughter of Babylon? We're gonna find that out right quick, huh?
So what map you need?
The ancient Medo-Persian map. Get something to come up with that. Show something of them being above the Babylonians. I guess certain time. I actually have one right here. Show it on my phone. Yeah, media right there. It was pretty big. About 550 BC? Yeah, the second one, is that it? Maybe the third.
Which I know what
Well, I have this one. I don't know if you can see it from here. Come on.
Watch it.
Yeah. And you'll see the Persian Empire expanded all the way up to, you know, Armenia, Lydia, right, slightly above, Babylon, right? So that's how vast their empire spread though. So that's the nation that came into power right after ancient Babylon. And we know the Greeks took out the Persians, the Medes and the Persians. And we see that Sparta and all that, and 300. You got to put me on the other movies, you know what I'm saying? But it was cool. It was cool. I can't front, watching Esau do his thing, but but nonetheless. So yeah, where was he at? Scripts.
You say you want Psalm 137?
Psalm 137. Yeah. So who's the mystery daughter of Babylon? Let's get that right quick. Verse 7 through 9.
Book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon.
What?
O daughter of Babylon.
Right. So that mystery Babylon, that daughter of Babylon, is where Edom would reside. Edom is in control of the daughter of Babylon. Right? Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Right, that's it on that one. So the Most High is going to reward America, man. America is that mystery Babylon, that daughter of Babylon. And it's another precept, probably going to pull it out later, where Jeremiah is even referring to the daughter of Babylon, right? So let's go back to Jeremiah and let's get chapter 50 and let's get verse 4. 4 through 9, yeah.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, in verse 4. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping shall they go, and seek the Lord their God. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and not let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
Right, and this is that time right now that we in. You know what I'm saying? We got our people waking up to the knowledge of who they are. They're trying to seek the way of Zion and rejoin themselves unto the Most High and keeping the covenant that our ancestors made with them. Right, go ahead.
My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherd has...
Drop down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flock.
Right. So the Most High is saying to spiritually remove yourself from Babylon. It's not a flee doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Where we should get up out of America. No, the sword can come to you wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where you are. The Most High said if he has you set out for destruction, hey, look, you can get put to death anywhere. That don't matter, right? Go ahead.
For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as the mighty expert men. None shall return in vain.
Let me see that part one more time. Yeah, I'm sorry. Read that verse 9 one more time.
Verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of the mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Now we could read about Russia's hypersonic missiles can't be seen on radar. We're gonna read some of this article right quick. Yeah, so America's in trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got the missile defense technology that they think they do, man. So I don't have the exact part, but we can read some of the beginning. Yeah.
Why Russia's hypersonic missiles can't be seen on radar. The age of Russian superweapons is upon us. At least that's what President Vladimir Putin wants us to believe. And they are cause for concern because the United States traditionally early warning systems might not be able to see those weapons coming. Hypersonic weapons such as Russia's M3M22 Zircon fly as fast and low as speeds of up to Mach 6 and at low atmospheric ballistic trajectory that they can penetrate traditional anti-missile defense systems.
Right, yeah. I don't even know what the hell Mach 6 is. You know what I'm saying? But it said it has speeds of up to Mach 6. You know that it
It's like a level of sound, like sound.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they have some missiles that are faster than the sound of
Speed of sound.
Speed of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Faster than you could turn on a damn switch, a light. You know what I'm saying? That's how fast these missiles are, man. Can't imagine that hitting Texas or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to hit California while we out here. But look, hey, look, the debris and all that, it's going, you know, it don't matter where it hit. We're going to feel the effects of it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see that too. But at that same time, the Most High is going to be delivering Israel, you know, when it does hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there more on it?
However much you want.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, yeah, read that next paragraph.
The missile flies with an advanced fuel that Russians gives it a range of up to 1,000 kilometers, and it's so fast that the air pressure in front of the weapon forms a plasma cloud as it moves, absorbing radio waves and making it practically invisible to active radar systems.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so look, it goes deep, man. But let's go back to Ezekiel now. Ezekiel chapter 38, and let's get verse 8. Now we're gonna go into the prophecies of, you know, because right after America is destroyed, right after Babylon is destroyed, Russia and China, you know, and all these other nations in the east, they still gonna be standing, you know. And the Bible talks about we're about to read it actually, 38 and 8. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel.
Right. So they're talking to the Most High is talking to GOG and Magog, which is Russia. He said, "After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword." What's the land that was brought back from the sword? Jerusalem, man. You're gonna be coming to the land of Israel. Why are they gonna be doing that? Keep going.
And is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought back forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
Right, because the Russians and the Chinese, they gonna know what's up, man. They gonna know that God delivered His people. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna want full control. They gonna want to conquer. They gonna want power. And the only way they're gonna do that is if they try to subdue Israel. So they're gonna try to fight against the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going on there.
Verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee.
Right. So all of their allies are gonna be with them. Right. So let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 13 real fast. Let's go into some other prophecy right there. 2nd Ezra 13. Let's start at, I think I want verse 1. Actually, yeah, start at actually verse 5.
Book of 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from 4 winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
Lucky. So it says that there was a great multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Now this is talking about Yahweh Shai. You know, before Yahweh Shai destroys, you know, this multitude with the word, with fire, as the scripture says, right? Keep going on that.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
Right, because the Most High is gonna make you fight. Still, He's gonna make you feel like, oh, I can beat them, I can conquer them. Even at how scared they are, the Most High is gonna put a spirit on them to try to come up against Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So He said, they were so afraid. Right, keep going on that.
And lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came. He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
Right. How the Most High is gonna use Yahweh to destroy them? Hey, look, I don't know. This is the word of God. They're gonna zap him with the chariots. I can't call it, man. But you know what? Even before that, I wanted to get something else right quick. Hold that. Let's get Revelation chapter 17. So we're gonna be jumping around a little bit right now. Revelation 17. Let's get. That's probably not even what I want. Let me see. No, yeah. Let's get that right quick.
17.
Yeah, verse 14.
14. The book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 14.
Hold on, start at verse 12.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Mm-hmm.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Right, so that's all the EU giving their power unto America, but America is going to be destroyed, and then it's going to be those remaining former allies of America that's still upon the earth. Right, go ahead.
These shall make war with the Lamb.
They're gonna do what?
These shall make war with the Lamb.
Right, so these other nations, they're gonna come against Yahweh. We know the Lamb to be Yahweh. Right, so they're gonna make war with Yahweh. Go ahead.
And the Lamb shall overcome them.
He's gonna overcome them, man. All that second Ezra 13 was about Yahweh, right? And we're gonna get further proof on that. That was it on the verse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
For he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Come on. So let's get Revelation 19 and verse 19 right quick. Let's get that.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophets that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them, and had received the mark of the beast.
So lock here. I actually started later than I wanted to. But nonetheless, 19, we could just deal with 19 one more time. Yeah.
Revelation chapter 19, verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
So we see, these nations coming up against the Most High and His Son. And actually, let's get chapter 20 and let's get verse 1. Now, chapter 20 kind of jumps in and out of time. So we're going to read from 1 down to 3, and then we're going to jump to verse 7 to make a little bit more sense. Go ahead.
Book of Revelation chapter 20 and verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right, so this is dealing with the time period of the Moors, the Moorish Empire, the Dark Ages, when Esau was living in the caves for 1,000 years before the Renaissance era. And they, sprouted back up and began to conquer and take over again, right? So this is when they was, this is Christianity will tell you, the kingdom of heaven after 1,000 years of Jesus, Satan is going to come out of his chains with his pitchfork and his horns and everything, and he's going to come against, God's people in the kingdom, but that's off, man. That's all I'm going to say. Keep going on that. Yeah, that's folklore, like the brother said.
Verse 3. And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
Right, and he's loosed right now. This is the season that the so-called white man is loose, and he's deceiving all of the nations. We know that through the white Jesus, all of the deception through his TV and media and all that. We see that taking place, right? So drop down to verse 7, because, like I said, I think it's called a non-linear. When you read books that kind of zigzag in and out of the future, the present, the past, so I think it's called a non-linear. I think the other word they use, but nonetheless, drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea.
Right. So it says Gog and Magog is going to battle against the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now we know Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10 says Israel is as the sand of the sea. You know what I'm saying? So Russia's going to be coming up against Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? When we've been delivered up out of America, we're going to see the fall of this empire, of this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I want to stay in Revelation, and I want to get, what is that one precept? Let me see real quick. As a sea of glass, the saints shall be, it's like it's talking about that on the firmament. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can see a glass. A lot here, y'all. I'm stopping a lot. Let me see if I can get it right here. If not, let's go back to Ezekiel 38 right quick.
I'll start with 8.
Yeah.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 8. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people.
So like I found it now. So he said he's going to gather them out of many people, right? So let's get Revelation 15 and let's get verse 2. It's kind of hard to fathom seeing this place get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not going to believe it, but like the precepts you always bring up, Psalms 126. It's going to feel like a dream getting taken up out of here, man. Being upon that chariot. It's going to be unreal. You know what I'm saying? But this is start at verse 1 and let's read verse 2.
Book of Revelation chapter 15 and verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over his number, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God.
Right, because the angels, they can fly in and out of this, the heavens. So we're gonna be like he said he's seen a sea of glass mingled with fire. We're gonna be high as the height of the firmament. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all know anything about the firmament, we live in a body of water. It's like a glass. We live in a dome. You know what I'm saying? You can't get up out of it. You know what I'm saying? Esau trying to figure out how to crack the dome and create his space force and go into depths that man has never done. But we're going to be up there, man. You know what I'm saying? He says it looks as a sea of glass mingled with fire. We're going to be looking down as we up there seeing the destruction of America. You know what I'm saying? It mentioned the saints in that verse, right? Or no?
The angels and not sure.
No. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's go now. Let's go back to Ezekiel 30. No, we was in Second Ezra, right? Second Ezra. Let me see that. All right, we'll hold off on. Yeah, let's go back to Ezekiel 38. Though, yeah. Then we'll go back to Ezekiel.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 8. After many days,
not 8. You can read 9 or 10. What was that? We read. Yeah, read 9.
9. Verse 9. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord God, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Right. So right here, the Most High said things gonna come into their mind, and they gonna think an evil thought, and that thought is to go up against Yahweh. To prove that furthermore, let's get Second Ezra 13 again, and let's get verse 38, I believe it was.
Okay. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 38. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire.
Mhm.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away
That was
prisoners.
just verse 39. So we see right there, it says, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And it said he's going to destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire. Because the word of the Most High can devour you, man, like a flame. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's letting you know right there that that was their evil thought. Like it said earlier in the chapter, you know, they were sore afraid, yet durst fight. Because they think that they're about to destroy the heritage of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? By bringing us back into captivity again. No, you know, we got Yahweh Shah on our side, man. That's our king. You know what I'm saying? He's not, you know, he's not earthly. He's not Vladimir Putin. He might be a tough guy, you know what I'm saying? He might, you know, talk big with the men upon this earth, but look, he can't mess with the king. The king of kings, man. He can't mess with him. So we're gonna definitely see Yahweh Shai do his thing in that time, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get a few more precepts. We're gonna close it out soon. Let's go back to Ezekiel 38 actually. And let's keep going on that.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates,
Mm-hmm.
to take a spoil and to take a prey.
And that's what they're thinking they're gonna do is take the spoils of Israel again. And take us for, you know, and prey upon us. Take us as captives, right? Right, go ahead.
To turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nation,
Mm-hmm.
which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey?
Mm-hmm.
To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil?
Right. So the Most High is, you know, just asking the question plainly into them. You coming to take, you know, stuff that don't belong to you? No, we taking all of that, everything that's ours. What the Vatican has, all the gold that belonged to Israel, that's coming back to us, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're not finna come here and take no spoils of what the Most High has prepared for us. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Therefore, Son of Man, prophesy and say unto God, Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, In that day wherein my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses in great company, and a mighty army.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt come against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and it will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes.
Right. So look, you know, this is gonna happen. This let you know this is the last days. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High said He's gonna be sanctified in His destruction of God, oh God, well, GOG and Magog, right? So read verse 17.
Verse 17. Thus saith the Lord God, Art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by servants of the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I will bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time, when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord God, that my fury shall come up in my face.
So let's hold off right quick. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 50 and let's get 29. I want to get some more destruction on America, man. More destruction on America, Babylon the Great, before we close it out.
29,
Yeah. Or yeah, chapter 50, and let's start at verse 28.
28.
Yeah.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 28. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple.
Mm-hmm.
Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel.
Come on, keep going.
Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord.
Come on. So we're gonna see that, man. They're gonna when they go into war, and it's gonna be a draft in America again. And it don't matter what you're doing. You working in the factories, you a cashier at Target, you know what I'm saying? You're a janitor, whatever the case may be. Look, it don't matter how young, how old, they gonna need bodies, man. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High said, look, your young men, they're gonna be weak, like you brought out earlier. They're gonna be soft. You know what I'm saying? They're emotional. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is already putting the curses upon these heathen nations, man. Specifically, Esau getting it heavily right now. So these curses are coming upon them. So let's hold that. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and let's get verse 33. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a scarcity of men in these last days. It's going to be a scarcity of righteous men and just men in general. That's going to be hard to find, And hell, and like in the movie 300, was the Edomite tis that committed adultery to save her family or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Leonidas died in war? He died in battle. Yeah. And she was hoping he would come back, and all the dude had for her was a souvenir. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Souvenir she put on her son's, head, little necklace. Hey, look, that's what's gonna happen to a lot of these Edomite women, man. They'll be hoping they husband and their boyfriend come back. No, he's not coming back. Go ahead, bring it up.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 33. Mm-hmm. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the land spake.
God, that was it on that one. So let's go back to Jeremiah, I believe I want. Yeah, let's get Jeremiah. And let's get verse 41.
50:41.
Yeah, 50:41.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 41. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon.
So this is again going into Russia, and it's talking about how they're gonna destroy America, man. You know what I'm saying? So now it's got a lot of symbols in here and everything. Let me get these other precepts. So when you look at like stuff like they using terms like bow and arrow, but when you look at these missiles that they have, these super hypersonic missiles, they look like arrows. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that shoots it off, that would be your bow. You got some Israelites out here that say, oh, it's not gonna be America ain't gonna get destroyed with missiles. You know what I'm saying? Some of them say that out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everywhere is gonna get destroyed with the missile. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we know it to be the missiles that the Most High is going to use to destroy America is going to be, what we're seeing that they're preparing for war. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep going on that one, actually.
Verse 43.
Oh, yeah, 43. Let me see right quick. Drop down. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. Jeremiah 40. Let me see where you're at.
You just finished 42.
42.
The bow and the lance, and they'll be cruel, show no mercy.
Okay, I'm at 51. Sure. Yeah, go back to Ezekiel 38 right quick. Let's keep going on that. Let's keep going on that. I think it was on verse 18. I think, yeah, we were at 17.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 18. And it shall come to pass the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord, that my fury shall that my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel.
Let's hold on. Let's get Jeremiah 51 and 11. That's what I want. Jeremiah 51 and 11. And it talks about horses. You see the symbols that it uses, but horses is just, that was an ancient vehicle for warfare. They rode upon the horses. But there are some precepts for that concerning, the horses and whatnot. We'll get those in a minute. Go ahead, bring that up.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple.
So look, and it goes deep, man. But Russia is also referred to as the modern day Medes. You know what I'm saying? Because the Medes, the Medo-Persian Empire destroyed ancient Babylon. So the Medes will destroy modern day Babylon as well. So Russia is also not only Gog and Magog, but the Medes as well. We see that written in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15, where the Most High said he will stir up the Medes against Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So we read verse 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, read through 13.
Verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness.
Right, so let's get Revelation 17 and 15 now. He said, thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. Now, didn't the Bible talk about how, all of the different merchandise that Babylon would sell and that they would be receiving? And like Revelation 18 talks about a multitude of things, from ointments to, oils, to fragrances, to, to even all the way to the point of slaves. You know what I'm saying? We know America has created and established themselves as the wealthiest, country for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So we know that America is Babylon the Great. Right? So let's get there right quick.
17, 15.
Yeah. Because it said in Jeremiah, thou that dwellest upon many waters. Right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. The book of Revelations, chapter 17 and verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Mm-hmm.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh.
Right. So when you read earlier in the chapter, you'll see that where the whore was sitting, she was sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast, mystery name, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. And I mean, Babylon means confusion. I mean, what place is more confusing than America? You know what I'm saying? With all of the names that you got to call somebody, people getting in trouble for not calling somebody they, her. I mean, it's so many. Look, I can't even deal with it no more, man. Like, it's madness, man. I forget where I was hearing it at. I think I was listening to a conscious brother speak on it. But these LGBTQ people was teaching children, all of these, synonyms and pronouns. You know what I'm saying, of what they can call themselves, to the point where it's like, I think 12-year-old girl, she went home and started telling her parents, you can no longer address me as, but now you have to call me they, or something like that. And then, the parents, they went all out. They was mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? And they made a big uproar about it. I don't know. I think you talked about it, IQ, right? Then you showed a video of a Edomite woman going off at like a little, I think it was like a conference for the teachers at the school. Yeah, she was going off, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah.
Even if you work at the school and the parents are like, no, I don't want you to refer to my child as they or whatever. My son was born a boy, so you refer to him as he.
Right.
If the child says something different, like the training that they have more recently, they're like, we could get in trouble if you don't work in the schools and if you don't refer to them as like the child as whatever the child was referred to. And it's like it's basically like giving too much power to the child and just disregarding what the parent says.
Exactly. And that's all Esau wants, man. You got something?
Yeah, that was. I think we talked about it before, where they was calling roll in the class, and he came to this boy and called his name Johnny, and he didn't answer, but he said meow.
Oh no.
He said, "I'm a cat."
Oh no.
And the teacher got
in trouble. Yeah.
the teacher got fired for it.
That's
But you have to address him as
a cat.
a cat.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, man. That's Babylon for you. So this is the land of confusion, man. I mean, anybody want to argue against that, man? Yeah. So look, you can identify as whatever you want to, man. That's why they said, Babylon is the place of every unclean and hateful bird, man. Every foul spirit, whatever you want to be, hey, you be that, right? So what was he at?
17 and 15 Revelation.
Okay, we read all the way through the 17.
Verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
So there you see it, man. It said all of these nations gonna turn on this whore, America. They're gonna turn on this harlot, you know what I'm saying, who's old and worn down now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the same no more. She don't look good no more, man. Everybody's starting to realize that. They done sobered up a little bit. Now they saying like, oh, hell no. She seduced all of us, man. You know what I'm saying? China, all the nations, like it says in Habakkuk, America heaps all nations into themselves, man. Because they want to make everybody just like them, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't see, you tell me the last time you seen a Chinese man or woman dressed in their ancient Asian attire with the sticks and the hair and all that. You don't see that no more. You know what I'm saying? They got the business suits on now. Chinese women doing TikTok dances. You know what I'm saying? Completely gone. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's doing, practicing their regular culture.
Chinese women dyeing their hair blonde.
Right, exactly. That's why they making things so strict in China and in like North Korea. They banned this popular band. I think you spoke on them too. What was the name?
I forgot the name of the band, but it's some little K-pop band.
Yeah, that's right. K-pop. Yeah. They had a whole store in the mall just about them. I was just hearing about these guys, but they real popular, man. But China, they putting bans in place like you can't wear your hair like this, you can't dress like this, if you listening to their music, so on and so forth. Was they out of China or Korea? Korea, okay, yeah, Korea. Well, they both got a lot of laws set in place, man. Even with Kim Jong-un, man, he said you can't wear a leather coat like his. You know what I'm saying? The little long trench coat. You can't wear it. Anybody wear that, look, you're getting put to death. That's a law. That's a law. So, hey, man, these nations is all out of course, man. But, hey, look, Israel, we're going to set everything back in order. You know what I'm saying? We're going to set everything back in order. You're going to be called by your original name, Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, you know what I'm saying, Ham. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to be called the children of the Most High, the Israelites, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be, assuming our position back upon this earth. That we're going to close it out. Let's get I didn't even get everything. I was kind of out of order. Salakia, y'all. That's how I get down sometimes, man. But let's go to, damn, I don't want to end it with. Where we at right now? We're still in Revelation, right? Yeah, let's go back to Ezekiel 38 and keep reading on that real quick.
So 19, I'm going to go to Jerusalem. pretty much on 19.
Yeah, read the next verse, the last one we read. After the last one.
Okay. Verse 19. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 19. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake in my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will.
It's like, keep going.
And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord God. Every man's sword shall be against his brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to go through it lightly. Didn't really go to everything I wanted to. But with that, let's end it with Revelation chapter 22. Yeah, let's go to Revelation chapter 22. And let's mess this Bible up already, man. Already. Let's end it with verse 12. Or verse 11. Let's start at 11.
Gotcha. The book of Revelation, chapter 22, and verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still.
So if you are any of these things, you unjust, you filthy, hey, be filthy, man. You know what I'm saying? But we here to seal the elect and wake up the righteous, get them to repent and bring them back into the fold. Go ahead.
And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be.
Right. So again, you gotta remain watchful in these things, man. In this thing. He said he come quickly. We done read the precepts early on of what, the Most High's gonna do and how he's gonna send his son, what's gonna take place, what's gonna transpire. So, with that, we're gonna say shalom to the 12. Remain watchful, remain diligent. You know what I'm saying? And let's keep these commandments and endure unto the end. With that, say shalom.